What's going on? YouTube, Facebook, all our online people. This is Yhennifer and
Mom Talk with JoJo.
listen, guys, today we are going to talk about mom guilt. So, like, where's all the moms at? Like, if you're a mom and you're watching this video, comment below, let us know you are a mom. That's
Yes.
going to be the topic of today. And I think I got like two examples actually, not only today, JoJo, one that happened for me like this week too with my daughter, but I want to start off with you and asking you, like, because I know you talk to a lot of moms and you have a lot of experience talking to moms. I'm pretty sure moms have came to you and said, okay, like, this is what I'm going through as a mom. What is like, I guess, what is a scenario that you can think about like that a mom has came to you and give an example of like, what could be mom guilt?
Absolutely. 100%. So I absolutely have moms talk to me every day about mom guilt. In fact, one of my favorite ones was last week. I was talking to this mom and she's a new mom. She's trying to, figure everything out as a new mom, which is so difficult. You guys give those new moms some break. Like it is difficult. And I don't know about you, Yhennifer, but like 5 kids later, you're like, okay, we're going to be fine. But
Yeah.
the first time you're just like, I don't know, am I going to break them? And when I was a nurse, I would hear that all the time, like, you're not going to break the babies. You're not going to break the babies. You'll be just fine. But it is really scary. It's really scary. But anyway, so I think the biggest trap that moms fall into is feeling like they don't fit into the right mold, especially as working business moms. Like, we just kind of don't fit into a lot of molds if we want to try to say that, right? It's funny because you can't see my shirt, but it says mom life on it. It's got this girl with like her hair's pulled up and stuff. I can never do that cutesy like mom thingy like you got on, Yhennifer, right now.
5 minutes. When you text me, you're like, I'm on the Zoom. I was like, I need 5 minutes. I'm just gonna put my
Yeah,
hair in a bun.
do the mom bun. See, I don't have enough hair to do that, so my mom bun makes me look like I'm bald. But like someday I'll do the mom bun. Anyway, so the biggest thing that I hear from moms is like, I don't fit into this mold. I'll be talking to my friends, and this is specifically business and working moms. I'll be talking to my friends and I'll talk to them about like what's going on in my life and how much I'm struggling. And they'll be like, it's fine. It's fine. Just go take a nap. Go do this. And the mom is like, I don't really have time for this. I don't have time to take a nap. I don't have time to do blank, blank, blank. And I think that's where a lot of us like trap ourselves is when we feel like we don't fit into the mold, we automatically are like, I'm broken, there's something wrong with me. When in reality, there's nothing wrong with you. Let's just put that together. There's nothing wrong with you, first of all. And second of all, like that guilt is so tough. And like our husbands don't usually understand it because they don't get it the same way, right? Men have different type of guilt, but us women, we hold on to it, and we hold on to it where I am not enough and there's something wrong with me. And so
Yeah.
therefore, I'm not going to talk to anybody about it because it's all me. And it's like, no, no, no. The mom guilt is real. Especially for us working and business moms. Like we are trying to fit so many things into one day. And it's really, really tough. And so I think the biggest advice, I guess, that I have for all the moms out there is to number one, don't judge the other mom. Just be there for them. The best thing you can do, if they want advice, give them advice. But most of the time, they just want to be heard and be able to fit into whatever mold they think they need to fit into, right? And so if you just listen to them, and then if they ask for tips, help them out, right? But that
Yeah.
mom guilt is so strong. And I know for me, like I get the mom guilt a lot during the summertime because I'm doing business stuff. And I'm 3 days a week working on all my stuff that I'm like, you hear mom, 24 hours a day. You start to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm the terrible mom when you scroll through social media and everybody else is sitting at a park or whatever. But that can't discount my time that I have with my kids, right? Last night, I mean, I worked yesterday. I worked a whole day, right? But what I did after work is I have family time, intentional family time. So we pulled out the hammocks, we did family night, we played basketball, and then it started pouring. So we all came in and did a movie, right? So like we can't discount the other mom's time when they're trying. I
Yeah.
don't know if that answered that,
No,
Yhennifer.
that was good because you pulled up a few points. So one is like the self-worthiness part, and then the second
Yes.
is like comparing yourself. I think that is so big because people do that all the time. Not only moms, people in general, especially entrepreneurs with like, you know,
Yes.
oh, I heard Jose mention that yesterday. Jose's my husband, by the way. Um, imposter syndrome, right? Like comparing
Yes.
or like feeling that you're not good enough to do XYZ thing. I
Yes.
think it's like 10x for moms because we feel like we have these huge responsibilities of these little humans walking around. And it's like if you don't do what you said you were going to do or XYZ thing in your mind that you were going to do, you feel like you're not good enough or not a good mom or like didn't work hard
Yes.
enough. Like I hear that too from other like women entrepreneurs that I've talked to in my network. And so let's talk about those two things, like compare yourself. So
Yes.
let's go a little bit deeper in there. You ready, guys? We're about to go a
Let's
little.
go.
I feel that, I fell into me personally in that bracket, I would say probably, I don't know, maybe before like 2016, 2017. That's when I started to really build my relationship with God. Okay. So this is where it's like the whole, what everybody thinks and what the world thinks and what you thought life was going to be and influences from external influences from social, even influences in business, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, okay, how do we mix in like the spirituality? And for me, that's kind of what helped me overcome the feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling like I needed to compare to myself to other people when I started to get closer with God. Because when I started believing that the only one I need to give, any accounts to is God, not even my kids, right? Like accounts to is God. And the closer I got with God, the more I knew that God loved me, that I was enough, that, God made me exactly the way he wanted me to be. Like, I am not broken. You mentioned that too. Like, moms think like this
Yes.
is broken. Like, the closer I got to God, that helped me in that area of my life, which then equated to helping me in my career, in my business, in my network, and all the things that I did in my life. Like, tell me, like, how does spirituality play out in that aspect for moms?
Oh, absolutely. I hear it all the time. And it's the same with me. Like when I know who I am, I can own it. I can be the mom I want to be. But here's the problem. We always have someone in the back of our head or people in the back of our head that are like, you're not this,
Yeah,
you're not that.
that's what I said,
I'm
like
Martha.
external things.
Yes,
Example.
all the time. I'm Martha Stewart, right? I have zero Martha Stewart abilities. Like I cannot cook. I cannot sew to save my life. Like I'm not a crafty person. I still haven't done our office and we've been here for, well, I mean, we've lived here for about a month. So, whatever.
I said, I
But
give
like,
you a break on that one.
I am not a Pinterest girl. Like there are so many things that we feel like we have to fit into and it can't. And I want to touch base on that imposter syndrome for a minute because it hits us entrepreneur women so hard. And it hits non-entrepreneur women too. It's just a little different. And so when we look as businesswomen, we scroll through Facebook and we follow the coaches that were like, "Ooh, they look like they're gonna like help me out so much," right? There's amazing coaches out there that are moms that are helping out so much, right? Amazing women. Here's the thing. We don't know what they went through to get to that point, right? So like I love to use Myron Golden. If you don't know who he is, I love Myron Golden.
Of Myron too.
But he talks about a tree, right? And underneath the roots, he's always like, you guys see everybody up here where their leaves are, right? And then they got the branches, which is like the work they did over the years, but they got the roots too. And that's the part we don't see. We don't see the difficult part of the roots. We don't see what people are going through inside. I can't tell you how many successful entrepreneur women my husband and I would talk to about their marriage, and it was falling apart.
Yeah.
Why? Because we didn't have life balance, right? And so if that's you, that's okay. Let's work on that, right? But the thing is like we cannot set ourselves and say like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough because blank, blank, blank. I mean, I will be fully transparent here. Like working with Yhennifer, I was like, oh snap, I got the queen. Like, let's go, Yhennifer. You know?
My life is a hot mess.
Right? We all are, right? The struggle is real. But the thing is it's like, even with you, Yhennifer, how close I feel with you, I even was getting imposter syndrome because I was like, ooh, I got the coaching stuff, but like the techie stuff, I'm like, wait, you want me to what? To the what? I gotta YouTube this thing, right? And I think it's so often that like even the women that we are so close to, sometimes it still hits us with imposter syndrome where we just are like, there's no point in me trying because this person's just going to be better than me. But no, because you are called to a work. Now get to work and do the work that you were called to do. I
Right.
knew from a very early age I needed to help families, but I was like, nope, because everybody else told me it wasn't me, right? And I was like, and then when my husband and I started working together and we started helping couples, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so like me. This is my calling. Like, I love doing it. And like, you are called to the work. So just get up, move those haters out of the way, and get to work.
As you're talking right now, I am texting my husband and telling him to tell my son to stop jumping up and down because there's probably noise from the
Oh,
top
I did not hear a thing.
floor
Don't you love it?
while I'm
All my
recording
kids.
this video. Okay. Like,
It's mom life, Yhennifer. It's mom life. And
listen,
nobody can probably hear it because I already texted my husband on the video and said, shh, the kids, because they're all home from spring break. But guess what, guys? I can't tell you how many telehealth visits and things like that that I do where moms are in their car. Like, that is the mom spot.
therapy in the car.
Yep, exactly. Where it's like they will lock their door because it's a lockable place. They literally are inside the garage to the point where the light will turn off in the garage. So then they turn on their little dome light in their car so kids cannot find them for 5 minutes to be able to chat about the things that they've been crying in the pantry for a long time, right? So like
That's
struggle
definitely
as well.
another line. We got to talk about that. Like, what do we do to like escape, and get some
Yes,
time? That's gonna be a topic. A little
self-care.
But back to the imposter syndrome, it's so true. And I think that also one thing that I've seen, because I've worked with women entrepreneurs in like all levels, like starting off in business, like, making
Mm-hmm.
100K a year, making $1 million a year, making $10 million a year. I've seen like the spread of women, and it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what business level you're in. They all deal with the same thing. Like we all deal with the same thing because
Yes.
we are women. We have these external influences. We have feelings, like, women have more, the emotional side of things,
Yes.
the feminine side of things than men, right? So this information, I feel like it applies to everybody on that income spectrum or business spectrum, that we're talking about, because I've seen it all. And man, okay, so now we're working together. I don't got it all together.
We all don't, right?
Funny. I was like late, like 15 minutes to record this video because I was like, oh my gosh, how did I forget when I'm the one that set the time that we were going to be at this time today? Okay.
What
Yeah,
it is.
we're here from spring break. So this was another thing that we wanted to make sure that we shared in our playlist here, in our collaboration here, that we were sharing like the real life stuff, that we were not
Yes.
going to be like sugarcoating it. Like this is exactly things that we're also working on every day ourselves. I think that and the way that maybe we could kind of like put it all and wrap it all is like, as far as like the topic for this video goes, is that we're a work in progress every day. Like it's a never ending journey to work on ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
to work on our confidence levels, our self-worthiness, like our relationship with God. I mean, you didn't touch on the spirituality thing. Okay, well,
Oh,
you did say you know who you are, but can you tell me a little bit more? Because I think that's so important for me. Like that has
yes.
been a game changer. So let's like
Yes.
back up a little bit, and then we could kind of like
Perfect. Yeah. So I think for me, like, really, there have been times where I was like, okay, I don't feel like I am, like, I matter. Right. And then there have been times where it was direct, like, yes, you do. Of course you do. Like, why would you even question that? And I think sometimes that is a big factor with like our spiritual gifts. We have been blessed with so many things. And it's interesting because it's like we doubt it all the time. We think, oh, this person's a little Martha Stewart. They got their things going on, and I'm not, so I can't be. But like you have the talents, the abilities, and the knowledge that he has given you.
right.
All of that is divine and amazing. And so like when I don't have as many women come to me with like feeling like, I don't even know the words. It's always I feel like I'm broken. I feel like I was called to do something, but I don't know what it is. I don't know how to get it. I don't know where to get that answer. And like I think the biggest thing is to turn inside and to talk to him. Like, I need your help right now, and I need to figure out where I'm at, and I need to know that you love me. And I know firsthand that is real, that he will answer you and tell you how much he loves you. But it's never on our time frame, which is the hardest part, because we could sit there in agony and just like, oh my gosh, where the heck are you?
Right.
But he's in all the details. He's in the minor details. He's in the things. And for me, like that is the journey that I think my whole life, because I never felt like I was smart enough or good enough or anything. I mean, hello, now I have a master's degree and I used to be a nurse. Like I'm clearly not dumb, but I always thought that. And so like breaking those chains and just letting him guide you throughout your life of like, okay, it's going to be fine. I got your back. Just roll with me. And eventually you'll see that you are enough, that you are the person that he wants you to be. And if not, then get there, right? That's
Yeah.
what we're working on. We're working on all the self-help tips.
It's
I don't
a,
know if that answered your question.
no, that was good. Never ending journey. Like kind of like goes back to like the
Yeah.
circle here, putting it all together. Like it's a never ending journey. And I think our whether it's like personal development, whether it's like self work that we're doing for ourselves, whether it's our relationship with God, that's also never ending, right? It's like every day we're working towards, growing our relationship with God. Every day we're working towards, breaking limiting beliefs, our mindset, your environment is so important. And I'll touch a little bit on this because outside influences does affect the way we do things, does affect with like the habits that we build, right? Because of the people that we associate ourselves with. Now, if you live with real negative people and you can't get out of that situation, that's, we'll have another live, you hear me? We're Facebook, like wherever you're seeing this, we'll have another video
Wherever we are
about that. But if you can control, let's say you're an adult and you can control your environment, because some people just can't get out of certain situations.
Yeah.
If you can control your environment, it's so important that you associate yourself there with people that are also in a growing mindset, like in a growing path.
Yes.
They don't have to have it all together either, because nobody's perfect.
No one will.
People that are going to encourage you, that are going to root for you, that even if that you're trying to do something new and they're going to be like, I don't know what the heck you're doing, but go ahead, do you, I'm cheering you on. Like those are the kind of people that you want to associate yourself with versus like those naysayers and the people that are telling you that you're not good enough and all those things. Because that, little by little, even if it doesn't affect you in the beginning, little by little, it's like those little seeds that are being planted in your subconscious mind. And eventually,
Yes.
if you don't like break that, it kind of grows into like
Yes.
more fear and more, all these things inside of your mind. You wanted to touch on that?
I just want to touch on that for a second. So those relationships can be so incredibly toxic. And I think that's where most women feel like they have to fit into that weird, awkward mold of like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends, but like, I don't know if I actually enjoy hanging out with them because I think I feel worse after them. I actually used to have some friends that made me feel worse after I hung out with them. And I'll tell you what they used to do. Okay. So I always felt so little. Now, mind you, I was a working mom. I was in grad school. And at that time, we had 4 kids under 4. Like that's death. I don't know.
Crazy. I don't know how you did it. Listen,
It was
everybody
terrible.
watch the JoJo right now.
It was terrible. My oldest son was 6. And like, I think I was in my undergrad at that point, but still, I think there were 5 and under when I was in grad school. I don't remember. Either way. So I would have these women, friends that would come over to my house, right? Mind you, I'm a working mom in school, million kids, and my husband was finishing up grad school. And so like we didn't have time for anything. There's Cheerios on our floor. It's disgusting. Like it's just what it is. On the weekends, that's when we were able to like semi tidy up the house and like it was terrible. And we were foster parents at the same time. So we always had to have like the house clean enough for the caseworkers, but it was like sweeping up the dang floor every single day was so annoying because there were Cheerios everywhere and we were just in survival mode, really. And I would have these friends that would come over and they would criticize my house. And they'd be like, well, Jojo, your floor's not swept. Oh, Jojo, you need more pictures on your wall. Oh, Jojo, you forgot to do this. Jojo, why don't you ever vacuum? I vacuum once a week, okay? But when you have 4 kids under 4, it's just what it is. And so like I always felt like garbage when these women would come over. And then it got to the point where it was like I couldn't even pop popcorn correctly. They would criticize how I would pop popcorn in the microwave, not on the stove. I'm telling you, no Martha Stewart here. Microwave popcorn. I would get criticized. If this is you and you're like, oh my gosh, my friends do this to me, get the heck out of there. Go find new friends because it's not worth it. You're going to feel like pure garbage. You're going to feel like you have no mission, nothing that you've been called to do, and you're going to feel like garbage all the time. Those relationships are not healthy in any way. And I remember I would go out with these ladies a lot and they'd always go do crafty things. And again, I hate crafty things because I'm just not good at it. It's not a talent I've developed.
That wasn't your spiritual gift.
No, it's not my spiritual gift at all. Maybe someday. Now, my daughter, she is crafty. My kids are all crafty. And I'm like, thank goodness my mother-in-law is very, very crafty and wonderful with them, because when they want to learn how to sew, they don't come to mom. They go to my mother-in-law. But anyway, I don't remember where I was going with that, but
they will go out crafting
oh, yes.
like
And so I
out.
would come home and it'd be like midnight and I'd be like, Corey, I don't know if I had fun. And he's like, so why? And Corey's my husband. And he'd be like, so why do you go out with them? And I'm like, I don't know. They invite me. And I'm like, I'm again searching for friends, like all of us moms are. And I'm like, okay, it's not worth it anymore to feel like garbage every single day. And whenever they come over, I have to have this extra guard on. And then it's like, you already feel like you're failing as a mom because your kids, I mean, there's a million of them and they're everywhere and they're whining and they're crying. And I mean, they're 4 under 4. There's a lot to do. And so I just was like, I came to a point where I was like, you're right. Like, why don't I just say no? I could hang out with Corey instead and have a date night. Like, that would make more sense. I'd feel 100 times better about myself. My husband would never put me down. Like, duh. Yeah. But we don't think that. So
yeah. I love thank you for sharing like a real life example, because I feel like that's so relatable. And I know that there's people that are going to be watching this that are going to be like, wow, like that's me, like, oh, your environment is so important. Your relationship with God is so important. Knowing that this is a never ending journey, we're always working on ourselves, is so important. If you could take any of everything that we shared today, those 3 things are like the main, I guess the main points that we wanted to make sure that we accomplish here in this video. And we are going to make videos about, I know there's some things that you touched on, like knowing how to know your purpose and things like that. Like those are things that we're definitely very passionate about, because again, we've done so much of that back work already. So if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know, like, how do I find my purpose? Like, what is it that I'm supposed to be working on? We get those types of questions all the time, and we want to answer that to you. So make sure that you subscribe to our channels, click the subscription, the bell, all the things, anywhere you're watching this, because we will be touching on those topics. And we're also going to be bringing some special guests on our collaboration playlist. So I'm so excited about that. All right. Anything else you want to add on and wrap this up, Jojo?
I think you guys just remember that you are called to a work. Now get to work. Number 1. Number 2, you are enough. You have been called to the things that you're supposed to do. If you have kids, like, you have already been called to a work. Like, just get to work. Yes. Like, it's a full-time job. It's so hard, but it is so good. And again, I think I talked about this on the last video, how women feel like they're bipolar. They're up and they're down and they're mad and they're sad and they're happy and they're all these emotions. And it's like, it's okay. We all have those moments. We all have those times. All those Martha Stewarts out there, props to you for the craftiness. But know that, like, if you're not a crafter, it's okay. There's other gifts, right? Like, it's fine. So you guys are amazing. You're enough. Subscribe, like, tell your friends. Woo!
Yo, guys. Peace.